south all the way, at least 4,000 kilometers away from home, to look after cattle.
Our special correspondent Alex Chamwada has more on daring abroad.
We are driving on the Trans-Kalahari Highway that runs across the southern section of Botswana. It links South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia, thus opening up trade and tourist routes in the southern region. We are headed to Willie Kathurima's ranch, as he keeps us informed about what makes Botswana tick.
This country is really known for the best beef in the world. It's organic.
This highway divides Kathurima's ranch into two. From the beginning to the end of the ranch, one has to drive a stretch of 10 kilometers on the right and 9 kilometers on the left.
It's an EU registered farm, amongst the very few farms in the country, Botswana.
How big is it?
The farm is about 9,000 hectares. In terms of acreage, you multiply that.
Your savings had never been more important.
But our esteemed viewers, thank you very much for joining us this evening and following us live on Facebook at Alfred Koech Sergeant. Today we are live with our very own guest from Kenya. Of course, we have Alex Chamwada, we have Chonginyo, Victor, and Cheruta Rob, all media personalities, and they will be joining us today to share their career, the passion, and the talent that they all got. Before we continue, I would just want to welcome you all to this show. Share your thoughts with us on the comment section, so that we might or we may be able to answer some, or even pass it to our guests so that they might share light to one or two in it. So yes, thank you very much. Cheruta Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Victor?
I can hear you right and clear.
Thank you very much. And Alex Chamwada?
Yeah, I can hear all of you clear.
With us, with Zakalenjin, instead of saying, is it Chamwada? We say Chamwata. Can you hear? Can you hear? So, without further ado, I wish to introduce Victor, and then Victor will introduce Alex, and then after that, I will introduce our very own Cheruta. So Victor is a content creator. He's from Nandi County. Actually, he's from my hood. He's my village. He inspires me more always, and with his content that he produces. He's an aspiring journalist, well known as the CNN guy. We love you, Victor, and we love what you do. So tell us about yourself a bit. Tell us what you do, Victor, and then
Wow, all right. Thank you very much, Alfred, back in Perth, Australia. Yeah, as you just said, my name is Rono Chonginyo. I'm a freelance journalist. Above that as well, I'm a photographer, I'm a documentarian, and I'm as well a videographer and director. So I run a digital platform that is called the Youth Base. And what I do there is that I share stories of young change makers. Being a young person myself, I've seen that every day when I continue with my life, I see young people who are striving to become the best version of themselves. They're doing and prescribing solutions to some of the challenges that the society is facing, from climate change, from empowerment of the young people in entrepreneurship. So I normally document these stories of young people and share them on Facebook and YouTube, because now the internet, the age of of the internet is here with us. So basically, that is what I do, and as well engage with young people in tertiary institutions, in conferences, in workshops. I'm just a public speaker, and yeah, all that involves cameras and telling stories is what describes me perfectly. Yeah, I think you, Alex, Alfred, rather, sorry, you gave me the chance to introduce Alex Chamwada. Now,
Where
of
does
course,
where are you going? You know you're very fast. Very fast. Sorry.
Alex, can
Sorry,
you hear
Victor,
us?
continue. I'm sorry, Victor. Sorry, I can hear you, Victor. Sorry for that.
all right, all right.
Go ahead.
So I was saying, Alfred, having introduced myself, Alfred gave me the honor and privilege to introduce Alex Chamwada. And of course, now if you've been watching telly and you've been on the internet, of course, you've seen one of the most amazing programs of our time, that is Daring Abroad. And we are having today our very own Alex Chamwada, who's traversed the continent all the way from Perth, Australia, to Gaborone, from Oslo, Norway, all the way to Quebec in Canada. So yeah, Alex has done all this, bringing the entire world and bringing the stories of hope and resilience and determination of Kenyans from all over the world right into our living rooms. Let me take this chance to welcome Alex Chamwada.
Thank you so much, Victor. You are quite loud and clear. Typical broadcaster with energy and passion. You know, I'm sure you are being heard all over the world. And I must apologize. When I said enda slowly, unaenda haraka, I meant my driver, not you. My driver had passed where we were going. So it's not you.
Mhm.
I, I, niliona umeshtuka kidogo, but yes, thank you
Bana.
so much, and I feel humbled that you've picked a few things from me. Yeah, I've been a broadcaster since 1994. I began as a volunteer on KBC, and coincidentally, you won't believe it, Victor, I've just come from KBC where some guys had called me there to go to do some mentoring or some mentorship program there. And I must apologize to Alfred also. So my phone must have been off for a while, but I've been mentoring guys at KBC and took them to the very studio where I began my first broadcast in 1994. And some of them were telling me in 1994 they were in class one. There's one who had not been born in 1994. So it's been a long journey, and we thank God for this. And it's really, I don't know how to summarize, because people see me on TV, people see me traveling all over the world, but there is a beginning to let them know that I began as a volunteer on radio. I didn't even think about TV then. I never even imagined I would be on TV. I wanted to be behind the microphone, to be like Leonard Mambo Mbotela, Gladys Erude, you know them, the radio DJs and the radio announcers. That was my passion. But I mean, God just kept catapulting me into this broadcasting space until I became a TV personality, and I've been able to travel all over the world, including Perth City, where Alfred is sitting right now. And one thing I would tell you, excelling in life is not necessarily about money. Alfred knows what I'm talking about. It's about networks. It's about goodwill. It's about people believing in you. I mean, I fly business class, not because I have money. Sometimes I fly without even any per diem, any pocket money. But I'm able to bring lots of content right into the living rooms of viewers across the world. And with the technology, I thank God that we're able to do so much and reach out to large audiences across the world. That's how I can summarize my journey, Victor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alex. That's quite 94. Someone on the comment section is saying in 94 he was not even started school. Someone is saying she was in class 7. So you've been in this industry for quite some time. It's nearly 25 years and still going. So I really appreciate, and I'm actually grateful and indebted for you taking time to be on our show tonight. So Charita Rop is from Nandi County. She's a journalist at Chamge FM. She's also an actress at Tahiti High or on Tahiti High. Very humble lady, and a great person that I've come to know her. So Charita, I'm really grateful too for you coming on board to share some time with us and share some insight on the journey on journalism.
Thank you.
and inspire a few other youths. So just tell us about yourself. Who are you? What you do, and then we shall continue.
Okay. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Chamwada, and thanks my other colleagues from Nandi County. I am Cheruto Rob, a radio presenter at Chamge FM. I've been there for 8 years now. I've been in Chamge precisely for 8 years as a radio presenter. I joined Chamge in July 2012, going strong still. I've been also acting in Tahidi for the last 3 years. As my stage name in Tahidi is Tibet, but my radio name is Cheruto Rob. And like media in me, or being a radio presenter or just a media personality, is more of a talent than a profession. It is just something that was in me ever since I heard of Gladys Eride Chamwada saying. I started listening to Kina Leonard Mambo Mbotela way back in 1994. I was somewhere in, maybe I had not even started schooling, but I loved media so much. So when I was in my late primary school, from class 7 through to Form 1, in Form 1 first of all, I joined a journalism club where I used to do announcements in assembly. I used to read news, write something about the happenings in the school, and then you go reporting. I go for sports whenever I'm going there, maybe to play or to just do covering of news. So this thing in me, the media in me, started and professionally when I was way back in high school. But now I loved also acting so much. I even played a role of Lanina in that book of Kilio Chahaki, then when we were in high school, because I was so aggressively into it. Like Chamwada has said, making it in life starts with the willingness to do it. Do you love it? It starts from there. It starts from that passion. Because even if you have money, even if you have all the opportunities and you really don't have that passion in you, that driving force, you can't do it. Like the energy that Chonginyo has, I love it so much. That man, you can feel he's really what he's saying in him. So that is what motivates all of us and every other person who is in this industry and has succeeded, especially now in this media thing. It calls for some aggressiveness. It calls for some passion. It goes for reaching out, and especially this media. It is not for us to benefit. Maybe Chamwada, because he's senior, can say this. We have the interest of people at heart. And any other time you wake up in the morning, you want to bring something new to these people. You want to really shed some light on something that is happening around the world to these people, because you feel it is my responsibility as a society's watchdog. And media, you can do it anywhere, anytime. With the coming up of technology, you don't have to be a professional journalist to know what you're supposed to be doing. You know, you can do anything with technology, with social media. The way Chamwada is going around, is in nobody's TV right now. He's working even when we are just at home. It's because it is passion. Professionally, I did my diploma in journalism and mass communication from Eldoret Aviation Training Institute. I graduated there. I did my degree from Imo University in public relations. So that tells you I am also a public speaker. I am a motivational speaker.
Wow. I like that.
Wow, thank you very much. So thank you very much. I think viewers have got a glimpse of who everyone is. And I'm Alfred. I'm from Nandi. I'm currently based in Perth. I haven't been into media. I'm not a media person, but I love media, and I love using it to pass a message to the youths and every person that will wish to learn. And actually, I always say that this platform was created to pass hope, encourage people, and give to share some light on how things can be in life and how we can come up to succeed. So without further ado, I will start by Alex, because I know you are a very busy person, and
Yes.
and you might leave us as early as we might leave you early before we finish. So Alex, you know, most people normally, I remember when you were in Perth, a lot of people were asking, is Alex related to Tangula? Is he, you know, how is he? So just tell us, where is Alex from? Is he from Nandi? Is he from Nairobi? And yeah, so that we get to go.
Great, and I like
did you
the
study
smiles
journalism,
there.
or it's just a passion?
Wow. Alex Chamwada is a Maragoli. Maragoli is a subtribe of Luya. And if you listen to me, those who are keen, you just know huyu ni Maragoli, Muluya Maragoli, you know. And I don't fake it. I'm just natural. I was born in Vihiga County. My village is called Elongo. We were known to be watu wa chai huko, but hatukuwa na maziwa mengi kama yenu huko, Alfred, you know. But we are known for chai. I went to a village school. My parents were peasants, struggled to take me to school, to university. So my high school was St. Peter's Mumias High School. I finished in 1990. Recently, I shared a TBT, a photo when we were in Kaptulas, you know, in shorts. Those who saw it, I'm sure they can relate. Finished in 1990. At that time, I was just dying to be a broadcaster, as I told you, to be on radio. But then the course I chose, you know, you choose courses in Form 4. Then later, of course, I passed well. I can say I'm average. I had a B, you know, Form 4. So I got admission to Moi University to do a course called Information Sciences. So when I chose, I thought it's all about broadcasting, you know, the word information. Kumbe, I had chosen the wrong thing. It was all about librarianship. Oh my goodness, I almost died. And when I went to Moi University, I tried to change. So others were advising me. Many who have ended up in broadcasting were teachers, maybe change to teaching or do BA, Kiswahili, English. But it's a secretary at the dean's office who told me, wacha kuwa mjinga, this course is good. And then I came to understand that a journalist can come from any background, really. So it inspired me and continued with the course. So the things we learned really, which I can remember, were things to do with the librarianship, cataloging, you know, classification. We did publishing, archives and records management, and of course, IT was also strong. Little did I know that that really was even preparing me better to be a good journalist in future, because all those come in handy. Because we learned information sourcing, you know, and I'm really passionate in classifying things, classifying information, cataloging. Then the IT came in handy. So all that prepared me. From hindsight, then it was not a bad course. But I remember people would even laugh and tell my mzee, Kijanako has just gone to learn how to arrange books. Who goes to university to learn how to wipe and arrange books? But it came to pay off. So while I was in Moi University, I was very, very, I don't know how to put it, just creative, aggressive, wanting to just go out. We were on a trip one day, you won't believe it, Environment Club to Mombasa. And I'd been listening to a program called Mwangaza on KBC, kipindi cha Mwangaza. Presenter alikuwa anaitwa James Mwaura, baada ako KBC. So tukifika Nairobi, when we took a break in Nairobi at Railway Club with that green Moi University bus, I remember it was Volvo. So when we took a break for people to go have lunch, so while everybody was going to buy chips, I decided my lunch is to go look for James Mwaura at KBC. And I'd been hearing KBC, Harithuk Road, off University Way, Sandukula Posta, blah, blah. So I walked asking around, where is Harithuk Road? And Makiu, it was my first time in Nairobi because I was born in Shags, went to primary school in Shags, secondary school Shags, university Shags. 94 was my first time I'm seeing Nairobi. And I went to a booth. Those days it was those old, you have coins to bring, you know. So I called KBC, like enough, found the very James Mwaura I was looking for, the telephone exchange operator. Took me, connected me, and wow, who picked the phone? James Mwaura. So I said, James Mwaura, mimi naitwa fulani, I would like really for you to listen to my voice, and I just want to meet you. I love your program. He said, young man, you're so audacious. You're so, where are you? I told him I'm on University Way, Lillian Towers. He said, come. I walked, and imagine James Mwaura was outside KBC gate waiting for me. He took me inside the studios, showed me around. I was seeing now those watangazaji, Gladys Erude, who, and then he took me behind the microphone, tested my voice, gave me a script to read. I left, but we agreed. Of course, I was not gonna be paid anything, and that I would be sending inserts, and he taught me how to record on a normal cassette. Even when I'm in Moi University, record myself and send via a Kamba, put in an envelope to Nairobi. Believe you me not, when we were on the way to Mombasa, James Mwaura, his program was running that day. It used to be Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. I was on air. And that's how I began being on air, just like that. And the rest is history. So when we were back in Moi University, I would record myself, do research scripts, record, send on a normal tape cassette to Nairobi, and he plays in his programs. When I completed university, I did some work in the publishing book and publishing industry, but I got a scholarship and went to the University of Nairobi to undertake mass communication, a postgraduate diploma, and then went to KBC Newsroom now for attachment. And that's there I was, started now going into TV. When Citizen Radio began in March 1999, I was their first reporter. There were presenters like Mohamed Juma Juguna, the late Mohamed Juguna, Granton Samboja. There were so many. But then in terms of reporting radio, I was the first ever to be employed Radio Citizen in March 1999. When the TV began in October 1999, I was there. Then got a chance to go to Voice of America in Washington, D.C. for an exchange program with Voice of America. And that is it. My networks kept growing. Anyway, then came back. Citizen was doing badly. Joined KTN from 2001. Went back to Citizen in 2008. There are many projects I did because of my international networks, not necessarily because the stations favored me or so. You remember I covered the US elections of Obama. I covered Hague. And my networks kept growing. But then I resigned from Citizen in 2014. So those people have been seeing me on TV. I'm independent. I formed my company called Chams Media, which I'm still running independently. That content you've been seeing on KTN, it's Chams Media content, and I've been giving them content exclusively to KTN. You've watched Daring Abroad, you've watched the Chamwada Report, and that has succeeded because of networks, largely networks, but not how much I'm being paid. But recently, I terminated the contract to rethink and go differently because I want now to be buying airtime instead of being paid, because I was being paid a retainer. But to sustain it, let me tell you, Victor, the entire panel is not that pay. It is the networks that are built all over and that are able to go all over the world and make even the station look good. But it's symbiotic in the sense that KTN gave me the airtime when no other media houses believed in outsourcing content, especially current affairs. So that has been a good beginning, and I thank you. I thank KTN so much for giving me that opportunity. So right now we are doing independent content, and if you've seen some shots of KQ taking vegetables to London, ministers receiving cargo from China, I'm the one who's been filming for Kenya Airways and distributing that footage to all media houses. And I have a team of 10 people who have employed young people who are doing a fantastic job. Wow. So I don't think I want to continue.
So,
Maybe
Alex, before we come back to the section, the comment sections,
yeah.
25 years isn't a joke, but thank you very much for really sharing. That's quite insightful. So before we read some comments, I just wish to pass it to Cheruta. You said you've been acting. How is acting? How is it? How do you manage acting with journalism? And of course, I know you do a few other things back from the, what do we call it? From the back scenes or from the background. So as and as a lady, how do you manage all those? I don't know if you have family, but of course other things that comes in as a lady in the media industry.
Fine, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alfred. Chamwada, that's so inspiring, and I really can relate to your story. It's really touching and it is very practical. Sometimes we look at people in TV, we listen to these people in radio, we see people doing a lot of things, and we think maybe they were born better than all of us. But that's not the fact. I am loving the story of Chamwada. It's really encouraging. Now, Alfred, I've been acting for the last 3 years now, like acting for payment. I have been doing it for 3 years, but acting has been there in my blood. Like I've been loving this acting thing since 2007 when I was in my high school. I really used to love to act, maybe in the set piece and not a few. About juggling between media and acting, these are two related things. And as long as you have passion, as I have said, that is a driving force that will always make you to achieve what you want. First of all, like Chamwada, I was born in a very humble home in Chepterwai, a village in Nandi County, where maybe it's only Chamwada who doesn't know. I schooled in a primary school called Keptil in Suswa. I did my KCS, KTP in the year 2002. I did my Form 1. The neighboring school, I used to go to school coming back home, St. Monica High School, Kapkoros is just a home there. In fact, my dad could even call me sometimes when we are in that break time. Ng'ombe wameenda kwa shamba, kimbia enda uwatoe, and you're in school uniform because you're schooling in just a school home. So you are going home. It was a real struggle, but I thank God I managed to go through school, and then I joined that Eldoret Aviation Training Institute. I did my diploma in journalism and mass communication, and in the mid of that course, during that period, I went for my internship, that attachment in Kenya News Agency in West Pokot. When I was there, I was under a lady called Immaculate Maima, who was the DIO, District Information Officer. And then in my first 1 month, she went for maternity leave. And you understand West Pokot is a hardship area. Like she was the only person in the office. So I took over as now the acting DIO with my 1 year stuck in Eldoret Aviation with my diploma. So in the same office, we were
Wow.
using typewriter. We didn't have anything else like the computers we have now. We were using typewriting,
Printers.
and then you
Yeah.
fax the story to KBC, and then the story is being used. So I remember this day outside the context. I remember this day we went for there was a peace meeting in a place called Alale. So when we were there, you can imagine now that was how many years back. And right now I look somehow tiny, but that time I was very tiny. So I was seated in a seat where they had already placed that card. This is for the DIO. So I sat there because I'm the DIO anyway. And the officer who was there came and said, Madam, umekalia mahali pabaya. This is not your place. You're supposed to leave because this is for the DIO. Someone who knew me there, now there was a new intern who came in, and that intern was under me, and the person was in new university when the DIO myself was a diploma person who is not yet even done with 2 years. So I did that, and since she went for three months, I had to stay there. I stretched my 1 month of coming back to school to get done with my study. Fast forward, I did that. I came to KBC Kitwek as an intern again, but I never stayed there for long. I moved to Fast FM, did voiceover. So that time I was still struggling to get a job. So you're not going back home because the only cows that were there were sold for you to go back to school. So you have to really struggle. And being a lady, there are very many challenges that comes with being jobless in a town like Nairobi. But anyway, I thank very many people who came through for me. And finally, I got a job in Royal Media. And I think at that time, Chamwada was still there in 2012. I got a job 2012 July. That is where I have been. And I also thank this company because it's a company that gives people opportunity to grow their talents. If you can act fine, they have very many productions where they can allow you to really practice what you want. But it is not them giving you the opportunity. It is you and the motivation that you have. What do you really want? Do you really want to get it? Because there are very many people out there. They have these opportunities. Opportunities don't come looking for you. You go looking for them, regardless of where you come from. All of us are destined to greatness, depending on how motivated you are, depending on who you are role modeling, depending on who your mentor is. Who do you want to be? You see, people have histories of a very difficult path. Even Alfred and maybe even Chonginyo can give us a story. All these successful people have a painful past. They have a painful story, but persistence in what you do is what gives people opportunity to grow to be who they want to be. Right now, as you said, yes, I also have a business farm. Should I call it a business enterprise called Michelin Enterprise? I do sell clothes when I am off duty, when I'm not acting, because acting is not Monday to Friday. Acting, you can go there maybe for shoots that you can, just before COVID, we went there, we did some shoots, which maybe can take us to May. So when I am outside radio, which I go for 2 hours or 3 hours, I go for acting for some days. I come back and see now, if I am doing my show in the morning, the early morning Pambazuka show, which I do it from 4 to 6. Now, from 6 in the morning, assuming I am not going for shoots, I have the whole 22 hours to think of something that you can do, because we want to really make sure you create opportunity in every other thing that you have. So I sell clothes. I have a grocery. I sell mboga. Sometimes what really makes us
Wow.
feel so high is the ego. You don't want to do the small thing. We have
So
opportunities and
just a question. You just sell mboga. Did you mention you sell
yes,
mboga?
yes, I do. I
Wow.
sell mboga.
Okay.
I sell clothes. I go to Eastleigh, bring clothes. I sell them, and I get money. That is how we survive.
Wow.
Yes.
That's called the real hustler. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Sarita. Unless you still got something to add before we go to Chonginyo himself.
Unless there is a question, I'm so loyal to just give it to someone else, because as a radio personality, I can talk important things.
Okay. So Chonginyo, you're still a student yet to graduate from Moi University, I guess School of Journalism. You produce content. Tell us about your journey. What have you seen? What have you experienced so far? And of course, when you're trying to produce content, and now, like for me, when I'm trying to look for guests to come in, it isn't easy to get someone to come in here. Tell us how you get your content, because if you tell someone do something even within this time of coronavirus, someone will tell you, what will I do? How will I start? How will I get the guests? How will I get these people? So tell us about a little bit of your youth-based initiative, and how is it to be a student, a general student. And then after that, I'll give you an opportunity to ask a question to Alex Chamwada. I want you to be my co-host as well. Requesting.
All right. Thank you very much, Alfred. Wow. So, come on. I've listened to your story, Alex. Very inspiring, very compelling. Cheruto as well, your story is inspiring. Now, you guys have like careers that are spanning 2 decades, 1 decade, and you just make me feel very young. Wow. You make me feel very young.
That's why you're here, to
You're
get
young.
inspired, brother.
I'm very young.
Yeah, you're young.
Because by the time Chamwada, you're beginning your your career in 1994, I was just born in 1995. Imagine. So.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Wow. And do I look old? Do I look old, Victor?
No, you don't. You don't.
Yes, Victor.
I think it comes with. For me, coincidentally, again, Alex, I was just clearing from Moi last year, December, Moi University main campus. So just a same uni. For me, I think ever since I was always fascinated by what I always saw on television, be it reporters doing their thing, or anchors, or just those documentarians moving around the world and showing us all the beauty. So when I got the chance to go and study journalism at Moi University main campus in Uasin Gishu, I knew 100% that this is what I wanted to do. And one thing I always love about myself is that I don't love to give excuses. But that time when I was joining first year, I did not have a camera. But imagine, I was there, I told myself, come on, I have to learn to shoot, to film, and to edit using my phone. So I remember I had a small Techno W phone. It was gray in color. So I had a cousin of mine who would I would just grab him and just go to the field, and I would do my PTCs there. I would go to the field, Chamwada, I know around the hostels at Moi. Yeah, and I would just like, okay, how do these people normally do their thing? And I'll just like go, hey, hello, and welcome to this broadcast. My name is Rono Chonginyani. If you get me, I'll just go that way. So this passion and zeal of a missionary kind is what pushed me each day. And by the time I was in second year, I was able to put up savings. I was able to save up money, and I got my first DSLR camera, which was a Canon 1300D. and that is when my all these ideas were brought to life, because I began a platform. At that time when I was in campus, I used to see students. They used to do business. I used to see students who used to get time off classes and do their things. Some would run businesses, even tour companies. Some would be having shops. Some would be selling groceries. Some would be selling fashion stuff. I thought to myself, why don't I just employ the skills that I've gotten so far and just see a way I can bring on board these young people, create a program, and just do these stories to them, speak to them, just hear what inspires them to do not belong to the do nothing brigade. They're just moving out of their comfort zones and building themselves each day. So I began progressively building Youth Base, a platform I'd share content on YouTube and Facebook, and progressively over time I did that when I was a student in Moi, and if that is why if you just go to Moi, I'd be seen with the camera moving everywhere the place, creating jam here and there, just trying to film things. And one thing I really appreciate is the fact that I'm always yearning to learn something new in this career. Because at that time right now, you have to be hungry. You have to be hungry for success, because each time I would sit there, at the first time I did not know how to edit. I used to just be good with the camera, but it got to a point, come on, once I film a story, I need to learn how to edit, because again, right now, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, which is about skills. So I began going on YouTube. I used to meet people who are good in this. I'd ask of them their time. They take me through. I'd watch tutorials, and that is how I began widening my skill base. I became good in camera work. I became good in editing. Then I did really good practicing when it comes to reporting. I remember at that time I really could speak to the mirror almost every morning. I was fascinated by people like Anderson Cooper and Farid Zakaria. Come on. So I'd just be sitting there, and Richard Quest, of course, and just be going every day before I go to class, like, hello guys, and welcome to CNN Business Traveler. I'm Richard Quest. Now this month reporting from the, come on. I remember them vividly. So these things, I was just telling myself, I need to compete. I need to make myself very, very competitive. I need to build these skills. I need to ask myself, what I'm doing at Moi, what are other students of journalism doing in Nigeria? What are other students of journalism doing in Cape Town? What are others doing in Morocco? What are they doing in Egypt, in Nepal, everywhere? So at this time, I was just thinking, come on, I don't want to compete here. I want to compete globally. I want to be very competitive. By the time I'm out of this school, at least I can do something. So that hunger to always build myself, to always ensure that I get to build networks, because again, one thing with journalism is that it allows you to travel and move around, and this in a way, I can't say from my content, for example, let's say on Facebook and YouTube, I've not earned money from it. But from that, I've built a brand, and from that, I've gotten deals from that. Last year in May, I had a chance to film a film for 2 weeks in Arusha, Tanzania, with a friend of mine from Bradford that I just met online. The guy told me, "Come on, Ron, I see what you're doing, bro. Well, how about we do some magic with the camera in Arusha?" And I was like, "Boom, let's go." So
Yep.
I think that aggressiveness is something that is an ingredient that everyone must have. That each time you're asking yourself, how can I build myself up? How can I take over these spaces? What is it? I mean, if you just listening to people like Cherut and Alex, I mean, they're humans like us. There are people who have 24 hours a day, but it just depends on how you balance that and just see how you can make the best out of it. So I think it got to a point I needed to hack that and just each day, at the end of the day, ensure that I've learned something new. I've watched this. I've learned to do a couple of things that I did not know. And progressively, I've seen that do magic. So far, so good, because I cleared school last year, December. I've not even graduated yet, but I'm bubbling like there's no tomorrow. I just want to take over the place. So...
Wow. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, the CNN guy has always said you're the CNN guy, and we all wish to see you there. And we hope. We've lost, unfortunately, we've lost Alex, trying to bring him on board. But I will read a few comments here. Someone is saying that, Lagat Sami, this Chonginia is a young but powerhouse of journalism. You are destined for greatness, brother. That is Lagat
Amen.
Sami.
Thank you.
Someone called
Thank you.
DJ1 saying, Chonginya is touching my heart. I'm in his shoes right now.
Thank you.
Benjamin Sugut from Nandi County, currently in Sydney. He says that your career exercise, Victor Chonginya, started way back from primary school. You're like
My teacher.
You liked reporting a lot of indisciplined cases to teachers. Proud of you. So I'm not too sure how you used to be. Someone called Ambassador Comment Pius Cornelius Kenkoeja Johnson is taking a few other friends to come on board to watch this. Someone also called Honorable Stanley Chepkumia from the US saying this is very amazing. Thank you very much, Mushinua. Quite a lot of comments belong to Alex, and I wish we would read them when he's back. Streaming live from Nairobi, inspiring to hear from the panelists. Thank you very much, Alan Kosgei. Naomi Misoi says, wow, this girl is a real hustler. Very impressed. That is Cheruto Asante Sana. Proud of you people. Elisha Tarus, thank you, Sana. Peter said, wow, love it, so inspiring. Thank you, Peter. Mushe, brother. Brilliant. Alex has been my favorite news anchor indeed. You are a legend. Thank you, Alfred, for bringing such big educative and interactive, motivational, motivating programs. Kudos. Thank you very much, Sami. Much appreciated. Erastus Bed said, congratulations, Cheru, for your future is bright. Erastus, on behalf of Cheru, Asante Sana. And I think, Cheru, you can say thank you as well. Reach out to your fans, of course. Timutai, Alfred, your network is poor. I think I'm loud and clear now, Tim. If you can hear me, kindly, brother, tell me so that I can be able to fix it. Waziri Robi is streaming media, losing to the social media. What is the future? Paint a picture. I think, Jeruta, you can tell us that if Alex isn't here by that time. So someone is asking, is mainstream media losing to the social media as much as we are, as far as we are checking out everything? So far, everyone is on social media. We're watching news and everything on social media. So you'll give us a bit of a clips of what is happening. Miriam Sonita, wow, thank you very much. So quite a number of Juliet Cherotich, so much respect for Alex. Thank you very much. Alex isn't back yet, but quite a number of questions here belongs to Alex. Most people want to know about daring abroad. People want to know about his career and everything. So we will continue. Chonginyo, as a young journalist, man, do you have a question to Cheruto? Yeah.
You know, to Cheruta, you know, one thing I've seen in the media is that we happen to be in a career that you get to have such huge following, for example, on social media, be it on Facebook or Instagram, and now we can't run away from the fact that we are living in a generation that I love to call it microwave generation. They just want to just make things happen in the click of a finger. So what we just like see on social media, once you do stories, and maybe once you've acted that program Taidi High, we just like quick to put it like this is courage, this is determination, this is fortitude. But what really does it take to be in that space and get to ensure that at the end of the day that you have something positive coming out?
Thank you for that question. And what it really takes to be where you are, especially let me use my acting as an example, is what you have now. You see that zeal. You see that you are yet to graduate, but already we are feeling there is someone in you. It first starts with self-motivation. Do you have passion for it? Because you know the public is interested in the product itself. But before the product, there is a process. There is a process of cooking every other food before you start for eating. Like before you go for acting, let me use that acting because I love it so much. You have to go through audition. Sometimes you feel you want to. Sometimes you feel you have
Alex
that
is
talent.
coming back.
And
Yeah.
someone else will tell you, no, you don't have it. After you've gone through audition, you are told, no, you are not yet there. So first of all, work on yourself. First of all, you have to tell yourself you can. Yes, if you feel you can, try it. No one is perfect. You know, in everything you do, perfection comes with that passion, with the motivation to do it, with the drive you want to do it. Yes, be motivated. Today you will be saying, now you don't qualify because of reason 1 and 2. Is it a reason that you can handle? Is it something you can improve? Yes, if it's something you can improve, go work on it. And then there are some professions and should I call the fields of maybe talent that you can't really do, like journalism, like media at large and acting. This is not a professional thing that you go through some training to get it. It is just a talent that requires a professional skill to perfect it. Otherwise, if it is in you, well, it is. If it is not there, it isn't. Other things like all of us are faced with challenges of downfall sometimes. You try something today, it doesn't work. If you're someone who is going to die because you've been told now it doesn't work today, if you're someone who is going to say, oh, now they've said I can't, and you just go sleep and say, now, be it, you will not make it. For you to make it, if you are told now you're not making it today, ask them why. Let them give you a reason why you cannot do it. So that next time you are coming back, you have done it better than it was. Am I answering you?
Yes, yeah, that is really, really impressive. Yeah, because Alfred?
Yes, yeah, keep going, man. Alex is back, and I think we will be able to read the comments when he's here. Quite a number of comments and questions, Alex, that people want to know about you and Chams Media. So I guess you're done, Changinyo.
Yes, yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So Alex, I will read a few questions on the comment section that people want to know and get to understand. And I will start from someone called Aramatelon in Germany. He's asking that Alex, if a guy called Chamwada who works with him in Mass Inc., I think in German, is your relative. Someone is saying someone called Victor. Victor is asking that he follows you on the show on the Daring Abroad. His question is, how do you see the content creation as an industry, as a new frontier? Give us an insight of what is coming up with KQ. And I think you mentioned something with KQ. So he's saying, give us an insight of, is anything coming up now that you said you're going independent or you've been independent? Someone called Naomi is saying, Alex Chamwada, you opened our eyes and mind when you began that Daring Abroad series. There is also someone from Nation Media is asking you that he's called Elias Makori, is sport journalist. He's asking that there's a good discussion there, Alfred. Pass my regards to Alex, the legend himself. Ask him what are his thoughts about the travel with the post COVID-19. I think there will be some travel phobia for a while. Will that be, or will that affect journalism? That is Alex from Nation Media. Also, a few other people here asking that someone here is asking that there's quite a number, so I'm not too sure. Let me just start from the top as we go. I hope you're noting down, Alex, or you want to go one by one?
There are some which are generalized because they are similar. I'll attempt and you'll moderate. If there's anything I've left out, you'll let me know.
Okay. So there was quite a
I think I can answer those ones first.
So,
let me answer those ones first.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Elias Makori. That is a very important question. Yes, traveling will change. You remember, for those who know, after 9/11, how we travel really changed, and security now became important. It became harder to even get visas to a certain place. Then a lot of checks were introduced, in airports. I remember when I was traveling in the year 2000, even I didn't go for a physical visa appointment or interview. Maybe it's because I was affiliated. I was with Citizen that was affiliated to Voice of America in the US. But the point is, I didn't go for any appointment. We spoke on phone. I didn't even know where the embassy office was. And we sent a messenger with my passport, and it came back with my visa. But now, you see how things have changed over the time. I mean, you can't just get a visa like that. So post COVID-19, even just getting visas, there are likely to be new rules, new measures, maybe health related. You need to go to see a doctor, to be tested over what, I don't know. So health will now become a key benchmark in getting certain things done before you travel. Like after 9/11, security now was key. Now, I guess and I suspect that even the way planes are designed is going to change. We've been sitting, Alfred, like in economy where you are so close to each other, even just to, go to the washroom, you are really squeezing and someone has to stand for you to pass. So you are likely to have the seats redesigned to be more spacious so that you are not too close to each other. Before you enter the plane, there'll be so many health checks probably and so many measures. So I anticipate that so much will change in the aviation sector. How will it affect journalism? Well, maybe not so much, because if you really have a purpose to travel, as long as you abide with those measures, I believe you'll still travel. I believe I'll still travel, hopefully, when the situation normalizes, because people will even be much more eager to know what is happening around the world. My show, Daring Abroad, I believe will even bounce back in a much bigger, more curious way, because people will want to know, hey, huko China, what happened? Like in Alfred, still okay, huko America, huko wapi. So people will be curious. I believe as long as you have a strong reason, you'll be able to travel. In any case, you ask the question, will it impact on journalism? Already we've learned so much on how to conduct certain things using technology. So sometimes you may not even have to travel. Makori, I believe you may be able to cover your sports events, sports stories, maybe by just a touch of a button from wherever you are. So again, COVID has presented an opportunity for us to rethink how we can do things and still be able to achieve what we do in life. And it has made the world look so small and similar, like the challenges America faces, China faces, Australia, similar challenges we are now facing. We are seeing each other even more closely. When President Trump addresses press conferences, it's like he's just here in Nairobi, and the people are following events across the world just by the touch of a button. So it's both positive and negative, but I believe we've learned so much, and who knows, in every cloud there is a silver lining. Someone asked about content creation. I believe content creation is the way to go, because traditional media is likely to change, and I thank God Makori is there. You see, traditional advertising is no longer the future. Companies are cutting down on advertising. Safaricom is able to reach its clients through technology. Government is no longer advertising, and you've seen so many changes in media houses. They're cutting down on expenditure, on staff. I believe in future for content creators like I, and I have a private company, Chams Media. If you are creative enough and you pitch properly, we are likely to be the ones providing content to media. Right now, media are a bit rigid, especially in getting current affairs from independent suppliers like me. But I believe a time will come when they'll see value. And the value will be one, if you really have something unique to sell, and you are probably believable, credible, and with networks like myself, then it shouldn't worry you. So content creation is the way to go. People have been telling me, Alex, why don't you begin a television station? It's not tenable, it's not doable, it's expensive to run a TV, but I'm able to earn a living right now using my talent as a content creator, and I'm able to supply content here and there, and I'm happy. So it's something that can grow in future for content creators. Just pitch. If you are unique, it will sell. It is always said, content is king. I don't know the other question, but I think the other questions are related to all that. For me, I go out doing what I do with confidence. And as the other panelists have said, I mean, nothing is ever easy in the world. Just be passionate about what you do, be unique, and you will sell. And thank you to all those who are watching from different parts of the world. I'm told there's Chamwada, is it in Germany? Thank you, Chamwada, namesake, it's a brand name. You better pay me for that brand name. And thank you. I don't know if there are other questions.
There are a few other questions. Someone is saying that Calvin Letting is saying, say hi to Alex Chamwada. I met him exactly a day after I did his talent in Nairobi. He was in Australia. Chonginia, you are a great fella, whom I am proud to associate. And my immediate neighbor, that is one of the artists, Alvin. Thank you, Alvin. Someone called Noah Kip, I think is in Bahrain, says, thank you, Victor Rono, great inspiration. I may ask, with all this journey of journalism, who is funding your trips to cover some events and your challenges on the field? I think that cuts across every person. Someone in the US called Nicholas Mosong said, thank you so much, homeboy Victor. We hope to see you in CNN one day. Saimo Kiplaga say, good work, kudos Alex for mentoring upcoming journalists. I appreciate the host, Cheru and Chonginya, all the best guys. Thank you very much, Saimo Kiplagat. Someone is asking here, Alex, how will the media or how will social media affect the mainstream media? Brilliant Chamwada has been my favorite anchor, news anchor since when he was in KBC. Indeed, you are a legend. Thank you, Alfred, for bringing such a big, educative, interactive, and motivating program. Thank you. So there was a question here I really wanted you to check, but it's just trying to make this is good. So Cheruta, as we continue on the comment section, do you have anything to add on, maybe on the ladies? Because quite often we see a lot of people who are on this mainstream media or people who are on social media creating content are always men. We haven't seen more of the ladies. What's your thoughts? What do you think is the problem, and what's your message to them?
Thank you so much, Alfred, for that question. And it is not really a matter of is there a problem or not. Over a very long time, society has always seen ladies as this weaker being. They cannot, and for a fact anyway, like daring abroad, that is really daring. There's some other areas that we as women, as much as we are in the media, there are some things that we really cannot do. But that doesn't really mean that we as women cannot really be there. We have very many great personalities in media who are women and they've really done it good. They've made it. People like, I should mention really Julie Gishuru. Julie Gishuru is a great personality. She's done it well in media. She's done so much. She's even left like Alex Chamwada to do her own things. An example of another great personality, which I should really mention, is this lady called Catherine Kastavuli. She resigned the other day, or rather, she retired. Let me call it that way. They've done it much in the industry. What we need to see is the society giving women the opportunity to really come and shine like they're giving men. I am not saying we are not doing it. We are doing it, but the society is still having that mentality of women cannot do it. But give us an opportunity, we will do it. Trust me. We have the people that I have mentioned and the very many others that are still carrying the show and doing it perfectly. We have people within the country and outside the country who are still doing it as women. The only challenge is as women, we have you men as our husbands, we have our children, we have a lot of things we are juggling with. So that by the end of the day, we have our own list of priorities. You're supposed to be in media. You're supposed to be acting. You're supposed to cook for your children. You're supposed to really dress, make sure your mother is looking good to go out there and do the same thing that you're supposed to make sure you are going to do after his left hours, like before you went. So it is really hard for women, yes, to be in this industry because we have a lot of things we are doing as mothers, as wives, and as career women, trying to put our families in order, trying to carry career with us. But what I should say is we are more or less the same as men in doing everything that we can in the media and any other profession.
Wow, thank you very much. I think that is a well answered and well put. So we will, before we finalize, and I give you an opportunity for you to add on anything or tell Salamia watu wa nyumbani. I just want to read the final part of the comments,
Yeah.
and then.
And I'll need to ask Chamwada a few things.
Alex,
a question.
network yako
Yeah.
inapotea. Anapotea kirudi.
Sijui kwa nini network inani let down.
So someone.
Yeah.
So someone from THAT, I think you might have chance on him when you are here. It's called Mark Cheruiyot. He's asking, this is a good mentorship,
Yes.
Alex. I look the passion in you to nurture this young upcoming net citizen. So he's saying that I wish that you'll be able to nurture other young men and women who want to be in the industry. I think that is his message. Elias Makori has replied. He said, "Thank you very much for your answer, Alex. I agree with you that content creation is the way forward. It will be great to see Alex consider sport content creation because we see many Wazungu coming to Kenya to do documentaries on Eliud Kipchoge and other athletes. We need Kenyans to tell the Kenyan stories, not foreigners telling us about ourselves. I will be happy to work with Alex in sport content creation." So Elias is saying that he will be more than happy to partner with you if you need any content on athletes and everything, and you can share to the world what we have in Kenya, and that will be daring in Eldoret, daring in Kisumu, daring in Kakamega, daring in Mosorio.
Yes.
So
yes.
Alex, what's your thought on that? Chongin Alex is anapotea kirudi.
Nimesikia. Okay, what's the question? What's the question? Can you hear
Alfred?
me?
Yes, Alex.
Can you hear me? Yeah, what's
Yes.
the question?
So, did you hear what Elias said? That is happy to partner with you to create content for sportsmen and women.
In fact, it's just a coincidence. I've been looking for someone to partner with and had him in mind actually, because I'm looking forward to doing a special edition of Daring Abroad on sports personalities who are really making it out there. And for those who have succeeded, those who have failed, they to just share with us the experiences out there. And most of them have really a great impact back home. But that's Daring Abroad, which we can partner Elias on that. But even locally, there is so much that content that can be created locally in the field of sports. And you see, when you're an independent content creator, one, it's possible to even get grants if you put our resources together. You are networked, Elias. You have a wealth of knowledge and experience in sports. I have networks too, and the resources that we can use to film, to edit, have young people who can just work on these things. So the value of independent content creation is you are not in a hurry. You are not under pressure. Like if you are in a newsroom employed you have deadlines, you are sharing equipment, you are sometimes told go report about politics when your passion is in politics, in a certain area. I mean, so we can partner. I agree. I look for you. There's so much we can do independently and stand out. And I can assure you, once you begin something, you grow it. You grow a following. I never knew Daring Abroad would have such a huge following. I had another show called the Chamwada Report. And even currently, I keep posting things on my YouTube channel, and they're watched across the world. And to link this with the comment someone said about the impact of social media, it complements what we are able to do as independent content producers. One, you get networks through social media. People give you ideas. And with technology, you can be able to do so much across the world. So for us, independent content producers, I don't think social media is a threat to us as compared to, say, typical hard news. Because with hard news, people are likely to have seen so much through social media, and you are challenged to up your game in the evening. How are you doing that story differently? But with independent content production, social media complements you to even do it better, and you keep growing your networks, and they are your marketers. They'll keep spreading your word. You build a following. I have a huge following, and I belong to so many WhatsApp groups you can't believe. Yet I'm independent and I'm not in mainstream media. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Alex. Someone is saying that Benjamin is saying I'll be more than happy to see Victor and Cheruta covering news here in Sydney. Grateful learning from my country mates. God bless you guys. Cheru, looking forward to seeing you back home. Our mentor, mentoring our girls. Good work, legends. Thank you, Noah. Ambassador Comment says that I'm happy that Elias Makori from the Nation is watching. Alfred, next time please invite Elias Makori in this. Makori is a substantial in sport analysis, watching from Chepkanga. Ambassador Abuse Comment from Kenya University of Sports Association. Thank you very much, Comment. Someone said here, Chamwada has made me think fat and Australia ni hapa tu karibu sana. I love the show. I always live stream. I always watch it. I'm in Karen, Nairobi. Someone is watching from Bomet. Cheruta, someone anakusalamia anaitwa Edna Chepchumba saying ikatua Cheruta Chamgei. So yes, before we finish, Chonginia, you had a question to Alex, and then I'll give an opportunity to Cheruta to salamia watu ya reserve huko chini Kabiet ndani. That is a person you would never have imagined. She will be working as a media person from down in the village, and I'm really happy to have hosted you so that you give hope to people in the village that, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from, but the passion, the need, and the urge to go forward matters a lot. So, Victor.
All right, thank you very much, Alfred. So to Alex is that one thing we can't run away from is the fact that the business models of televisions are changing as time goes by. The dynamics are here with us. As you see, the emergence of social media again, the traditional media, all this put together, the new media, the business models are changing. So I really want to know, as an independent content creator at Champs Media, how do you walk through this to ensure that each time you stay afloat, because now that is a different entity, but at least at the end of the day you have to have something again for yourself. How do you ensure that you pull through it with the dynamics of business models and all that?
Okay, first, for me as an independent content producer, I do more than that. My firm, Champs Media, we are a consultancy firm. So we have certain things we do that make us tick, that complement each other. For example, even personally, people invite me to MC at functions, you know, just even MCing, you're able to get some income. People call me even to just send my cameraman to go film certain things for them. And we're able to do, we have state-of-the-art technology. We're able to do drone shots. Those who know, Victor, you know, you have gadgets like GoPro, you have, various cameras that can really enhance quality, and we do HD quality. So even just filming and giving people raw footage, it's a service, and you find you are earning something from that. For those, there are those who just know me for TV. Alex Chamwada, Wadaring, and Bro Chamwada report. And mark you, there are those who've been thinking I'm employed by KTN. I'm a CEO. So when you see that Chamwada kwa TV, ni Mudozi ni CEO na founder. So I'm able to meet other CEOs, do deals, do business, discuss with the CEOs of banks. I mean, you know very well, Kenya Airways is one of my greatest partners. So I do production. Some don't even go on there. Like we've done productions for international organizations like the UN Habitat, and they would have a budget for it. You produce a documentary, give them. So we have so much that complements. And what really sells for me again is the name. I'm not discouraging those who are beginning, but even me, I began somewhere. So you have to begin and build. Nothing comes easy. So the fact that I'm Chamwada also enables me for doors to open. I'm able to call a certain CEO and gives me an appointment to discuss business. So there is so much. Even now, when I terminated my programs to just rethink, I've been able to earn 1 or 2 coins by just filming and being able to give content. I don't want to reveal here, but there are certain international channels who soon will be engaging me to be filming for them and sending them content. So if you scratch hard, you're likely to have very many avenues of revenue generation. And to your question about social media, for me, as I've always said, it complements me. One, I build a following through social media. So you find that people are always talking to you, asking you questions, giving you ideas. We get ideas even from people, ordinary people. You won't believe it. And I've even young men who are willing to even send me content. There is a team in Turkana, a guy who has a camera, and another one is a teacher, and they've teamed up to be sending me content, telling me what is happening in Turkana. Who knows? I may be able to even just be able to be sending something to them to say thank you, to make them sustain. And that young man, who knows, may grow and become a television personality. If you know Michael Zimanji, who's been sitting in for me on Daring Abroad, he's a lawyer by training. He's never been to a journalism class, but now he's planning. Of course, he's now learned on the job. He's competent, and I think he even beats so many who have gone to broadcast to learn broadcasting or journalism. Some may have masters, but Michael Zimanji, a young man in his early 20s, a lawyer by training, is not even finished his course. He's already on television. I've mentored him. I've met him in church. I used to do announcements pro bono for Sitam Church, and that's where I met him and I brought him onto TV. Plus, as I said, there are certain things you now even do, barter trades. Kenya Airways doesn't pay me a single penny, but I do work for them, and whenever there's an opportunity for them to give me air tickets, they give me. So sometimes you gain even by not just cash, but we call them barter trades to make you tick. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. That was really great. And the deal is sealed. Makori is ready, says that Alex, I'm ready to work with you. Of course, Lanston will be part of the partners. Of course, mimi sitaitisha commission. Tutafanya kazi pamoja. So yeah, Alex is in. He says that he will be ready to work with you, produce content on Matter Sports in Kenya, and he will be happy to introduce you to all the sport personalities that you wish to meet and so Alex, before you go, with Chams Media,
yes,
what and Daring Abroad stories, I'm grateful. I'm featured in one, and it was it was an eye opener. It was an honor actually to be part of the episodes that you've been running and to be interviewed by you, of course, and your team. So what exactly inspired Daring Abroad? What has been the challenges that you've been facing all through this, or what is the highs and lows with Daring Abroad series? And what do you think, or what is the best ever episode that you ever run, that when you're sleeping every evening you think about that story and gives you hope, or it makes you happy? Or at the same time, is it all the same? I would say.
Well, I can just summarize by saying I'm in business, and like any other business, you'll be surprised. Even big companies, wherever, there are times there are cash flow problems when you really don't have cash, and sometimes it's not because the cash is not there, but we call it cash flow problem, where you may have done even certain jobs, but you've not been paid, or you are waiting to be paid, yet you have staff to pay. Then, of course, I've been learning, and thank God I started managing myself, because there are many people in the newsrooms, big personalities, but they don't know certain things in life. You see, for me, then I have a team, so I've learned certain things that make a company tick, managing finances. I have certain basics of how to file returns. So if you are not keen on certain things, you may not survive in business. For example, you need to be tax compliant. There are companies, before they give you jobs, they want to know, are you tax compliant as Chams Media? So if you are not tax compliant, you find you are unable to get certain jobs. And we've had certain hitches also. I can't say it's been all smooth. Like any other company, you find you are going through certain hitches. So those ones are common. But once you are in business, there are ups and downs. There are times you have money, there are times you don't have money, and you have to pay rent, you have to pay your staff, you have to get fuel to go out to shoot. But I thank God, that even now traveling internationally, I've had networks that have made it possible for it to work. People believe in me, and for example, when I land in a city, guys are willing to pick me from the airport because they just want to be part of it, and even just share as we drive from the airport to maybe their business premises. They are talking to me already. So I've built a following that is willing to support me. I think I've answered your question. The future of daring abroad and the Chamwada report, I just want to tell you, it's there, iko kwa mfuko, hizo ni products zangu, and I have the trademark, the copyright. We are just taking a break, but we'll be back soon, and you'll see them bigger and better somewhere on your screen. I don't know which one, but you'll see them, Alfred.
That's great.
Thank you very much. What was the first ever episode you showed or you showcased on Daring Abroad?
My first ever episode was about a Kenyan who left Kenya in the 90s. You remember when nurses were trooping to South African countries, especially Botswana. I think she's called Rachel Nakasonde. She left Kenya as a nurse and went to Botswana and grew and saved and managed to transform herself into an entrepreneur. So I featured her as an owner of a chain of schools in Botswana. So from a nurse to a school owner, owning schools and employing so many people. That was my first story that featured on Daring Abroad. And that's way back in 2015, April 2015.
Wow. There's something I realized, and before we finish, I realized that the most watched Daring Abroad episode or series is the guys from the US who run the trucks. What is the secret behind that?
One, it was an interesting story. You know, it's out of the ordinary, and that the story brought out the fact that they could be actually the topmost immigrants or a company, a trucking company owned by immigrants, but top, really top there. And secondly, it's even the title, from 3 to 300, from 3 trucks to owning 300. Then how they joined hands, you know, and the lesson was when you move as a group or you do things is, let me use the word, hunt in a pack, you are likely to succeed. Bring various skills together. So those 4 guys, I think one was experienced in accounting, so came in as a director to help in accounting issues. The other one was good, I think, in marketing. The other one was good in, I think, logistics. So various professions. So putting their resources together. So employing themselves by beginning just as 4 people only, and you're able to run a company. So you begin employing other people. So bringing your skills together, that was one of the biggest things that made that story sell. But most important also, it was linked to somehow at that time handshake was quite popular. What do I mean handshake, Victor? The 4 guys, 2 of them are from the Kikuyu community and 2 are from the Kalenjin community. So handshake, not like Uhuru and Raila, but a handshake of like symbolically saying you have 2 tribes coming together, 2 Kikuyu and 2 Kalenjin, and being able to just work together and excel in their business. So it had a lot of symbolism, and then of course when I go out to do these stories, I do it practically. I went out into one of the trucks, and one of the drivers there, again coincidentally, is a Black American born in America, but he's married a Kenyan, a Kikuyu. And the guy could speak some Kikuyu and played some Kikuyu songs in the truck as we were filming him. So that brought the story closer home, and people were able to relate with it.
Wow. Well, Alex, I think I won't have much to add. You guys have shared a lot, you know, right from how you started, how, you know, I never actually knew that Cheruta has been in the industry for close to 10 years. I got to know you like 5 years ago, and I thought that is when you started. Strongly, man, you're inspiring me. You got a good, great future, brother. So that's what, Cheruta.
Yes.
Last one.
Alfred, before I maybe say my closing remarks, there is something that I can't live without saying, and I have always wanted to, any other time I get a platform, I have always loved to talk to women because I am a woman, and I feel when my fellow women are empowered, the society is empowered. Many a times we are so dependent on our men, be it our parents as men, be it our boyfriends, be it our husbands, so that we feel it is their responsibility to provide for us, especially in the financial part of it. I want to tell every other woman who is watching and listening today that there is a very big advantage in being self-sufficient and being independent as a woman. Yes, we need these men. We need our fathers. We need our brothers. We need our husbands and our boyfriends. We need to feel under a man because actually it is biblical that always the man should be the head and then the lady should just be the subordinate. But that does not
Yep.
apply to the present world that we are. Yes, we are supposed to respect these men, but we are not supposed to be parasites. We are not supposed to really look up to them all the time. I should just give women some very few advantages of being self-sufficient, of being an independent woman, a woman who will go out of your way to not get afraid of spoiling your nails and feeling dirty because you are getting out of your way to get something small for yourself. It will be good if we get to a point in a society where today I'll wake up in the morning and surprise my husband with a trip to Mombasa instead of him paying. It will be something good if today I wake up in a society where I'll wake up to him and tell him, hey, today I have paid school fees, you can do something else. But now there is a mentality that women have that we are always supposed to look up to men. Fine, that is good. If you have a man who is providing for you and you feel you don't need to provide also, I challenge you today. One, as an independent woman, your self-confidence and that self-esteem is out of this world. Like you can wake up in the morning, go outside there and just proudly decide on what you want to do because you depend on yourself. You're helping your man will be proud of you, your father will be proud of you, even your own brother will be proud of you as a woman who's come out of some mentality to stand up as a man, let me quote that man, and take up responsibilities that ideally would have been left for men. These men are also human. Number two, when you are an independent woman, you are strong enough to face challenges because you've really come through a process to be independent. You develop some character in you that you will not be so vulnerable all the time, so that when the society looks at women, they always categorize women, people with disabilities, and I don't know who. We are not supposed to be there. We are supposed to be these women who are strong enough to come out and face challenges. Anything that come your way, you are ready to face it because you are an independent woman who will always depend on herself. Another advantage, you pick your favorite everything, be it profession, be it fashion, be it anything. You pick your own favorite because you don't ask anyone on what you want to do. Yes, you consult, but you don't always depend on them. So you pick what you love most because it comes from within you. It's an advantage of being an independent woman. Let me give you a third advantage. Your way of thinking as an independent woman is always rational. You are not impulsive. You just don't see a fellow woman dressed in some wig and some dresses, and then you want to be like them. No, you will always be rational because you know you are an independent woman. You have your priorities right. You will never be swayed. You will not accept silly ideas from anyone, so that you frustrate your husband to the point of your husband ameenda kuuza shamba because you want to get something else. You will always be rational as an independent woman, a woman who has independent thoughts, financially independent, who is willing to always give support. Fourth, which should be the second last point, is you are stronger than your haters. As women, we have, I don't know, it's nature. We have competition amongst ourselves. And in the same competition, we don't take it positively like the way men do. We call it haters. Now, let me use it haters because that is in women. You are stronger than them when you are independent. When they sit down, they sit somewhere to say, oh, my husband has done this and this. You are ahead of them because you have done something positive for yourself and for your husband, if you have a husband or boyfriend, so that this kinachonginyo should not accuse us all the time of eating fair. No, you should even go there surprising me sometimes and leave tomorrow and go, as an independent woman. And lastly, which I feel we should all know is You can control a situation as an independent woman. You control the situation because you don't wait for anyone to approve or not, so that you don't just be under the mercies of somebody. You are like, what if he says no? What if he says no? You control a situation. You see, the economic times we are in are tough. This man who is in your life, be it your father or anyone, will always be proud of you if they know. If I go to Cheruta today, we are seated somewhere, we are talking, I am very sure she will support me. Women, let's come out of our comfort zone. Let us just grab these opportunities. Let us not get ashamed of getting maybe dirty, trying to do some things. Come to Nairobi, do a grocery, and someone else will be like, I really never be ashamed. Those people who are ashamed of you, they don't even have that half of your life. They will admire you when you are clean outside. They do know the toil that you've gone through here. Let us make these people proud of us so that next time we are not given the women representative positions are for granted. Let us go for these opportunities. Let us dare abroad with Kina Chamwada. Let us tell Chonginyo, that camera, I can take it and we can do things equally so that the society at least have a perception, a different perception of us. I am from Chepterwa. I am proud of that village. And I am very sure the village is also proud of me. Somehow, I don't know, but I have a belief they are. And those people around me, I am not really feeling good about myself, but at least I'm challenging someone that everything is possible. Life depends on how you choose. Yeah, you can always be the best. You can always choose the kind of future you want to live. You cannot choose where you are born, yeah, but you can choose where you want to live. Women, come out of your comfort zones. I'm telling you. Let us just dare this world also, like Chamwada is daring abroad.
Wow.
Thank you.
I can't find a better word to, to describe what you said. Dasema tuongeza volume. And I think we will still look back and approach you some other time, and then we talk matters, issues, women, and inspiration. Share such a thing. That was so much deep, I would say. That was so deep. Thank you very much, Cheruto. Before I give you Victor, Alex, someone from Muscat or Muscat is saying that after COVID, ambia Alex akuja afanya daring abroad huku Muscat, alafu Rusungu ya Victor nayo. So yeah, Alex, someone is saying you need to do some episodes from Muscat, Oman. I guess that is the best pronunciation.
Yeah, can he DM me his contacts? I'll get in touch with him. We start planning. We are planning. We are not sleeping. We'll be there. We'll there. Don't worry.
So Sonita, tuma namba hapa nipatie Alex. Atanitumia namba alafu nikutumia. No, I will make sure you get the number. So Victor, Rusungu bwana. Maliza na Kisungu.
Wow. I think for me, if there's a day I've really been inspired is this evening, because there's always a positive synergy that comes when you meet like-minded people you with a profession you hold dear together. And so Cheruta and Chamwada, you guys have really cheered me up as a budding journalist in the field. And one thing I've learned is that we are very quick to admire the courage and the determination that you put to have those stories come on television or radio, or for that matter. But now I've seen what it really takes. You have to really believe in yourself. You have to be these daring individuals. You have to go there. When I imagine how Chamwada crossed when he was in Lillian Towers, he was moving around bubbling with passion to go meet that guy from KBC. I mean, that is what we need as young people. Even each day I always tell myself, come on, I know I'm from the county of Nandi. I never tired to say that I'm from the village of Mosoriat, but I want to make myself globally competitive. I want to ensure that as a young person, I have to build myself. I have to hone those skills. I have to ensure that I be around positive energy. People like Cheruta, Chamwada, Alex, all you guys. I have to be around such energy, because at the end of the day, we need to make these ambitions come true, because we only have one life under the sky. So I'm really thankful. I'm really grateful. I'm really indebted. And you really have to push. You have to make things happen. I know that each day that you wake up, you know that you have to do do this because nobody else will do you for this. Nobody else will do this for you. As a CEO of a company, you just have to be there. You're working with people. You have to put them on toes, and you have to really be daring, exactly, and just ensure that you have to push the frontiers, and that is the only best way that you can make things happen. And one thing again is. I love to say to the young people is that you have to learn to use what you have. You have to learn to use what we have. At times we are really quick to make excuses. Oh, come on, I can't do this. Oh, serikali imefanya nini hapa? Oh, siwezi fanya hii. Ningekuwa na hii, ningefanya hii. No, it doesn't work that way. Right now, if you're a young journalist, you can pick your phone. You can do a story. We have mobile journalism. You can do that. You can use your earphone even to record your audio if you don't have a lapel. Those are things you can do. You can't afford to just sit down and back and wait for that grand time for it to come, because sometimes it can take quite a while. So you have to begin from where you are and grow the steps pole pole. Umesikia watu wa kina Chamwada 1994, trusting the process day by day, building it brick by brick, and you just have to be daring. So mimi nimeshukuru sana being here today. Nimesikiza hizo ma story. I'm really motivated, and I think after this call Chamwada, I'll just be calling you nione vile tunaweza panga kazi. Asante sana.
Anytime.
Sasa commission bado kuna M-Pesa namba yangu
Naweka.
Oh wow, no wonder man, no wonder. No wonder someone from Askar is saying yo Kisungu iko juu. Nani ya CNN huko peke yake.
Hallelujah.
You attend what you've been saying. Thank you very much. Alex, just
Yes.
a quick
Summary.
roundup of yeah.
For me, I just want to say I'm so humbled and happy that the keyword that has been, like the rallying call in all this conversation is the word daring. Oh my goodness, that's a brand, daring, dare. Then we will all emerge victorious like Victor. You see, everything is rhyming. And then you have Chamwada and Chariot, Che, Cha. So there's so much that has been in rhythm with this discussion. And thank you so much, Alfred, for putting up all this. I'm happy. I didn't know that I would eventually settle and participate. You saw me driving all the way from KPC. And what a day, what a symbolic way to be part of this, because I just showed some young men where it all began. The studio where I was recorded for the first time in 1994. Then you have this discussion. Do I need to add any more? Bye-bye for now.
Okay. Wow. I would say, I think on my end is that I'm really grateful for your time again, and for sharing such great content with us. Amazing stories, and above all, I think humility is key. Having been in the industry for 25 years, I'll tell you this, Alex. When you reach someone, even someone who just grew up, he wrote to them 2 years ago. When you try to text them and say, "Look, I'm Alfred. I'm trying to reach out to this such," someone is just politicking you. It doesn't matter. And that's someone who has been in the industry for 2 years. Some of them even you grew up with. But you guys, it's taken more than an hour with me here, sharing for free the content to every person who is listening across the world. I'm really grateful. Very indebted.
And as Cheruto said, just be consistent. As Cheruto said, be consistent. Without consistency, it won't work. Don't do it the first time and you're like, oh, it's not working. You just have to be consistent. Consistency pays.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll try my best as far and as much as I will get guests. The key is to empower, connect, and give hope to the young men and women and those who really need to get to know this. So I'll give my best to continue sharing whatever we have here to the world and to the people, more so to the young people. I'm really grateful, and may God bless you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now. Yeah.
Asante.
Wow. Seruta, asante sana.
Yes. Nimeshukuru sana pia Alfred.
Ongoi.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Kabisa Gongoi.
Bas. Ongoi misenga ngai aga omwae guti tispiga mnandi. Na hivi tawala Komiu.
Yeah, cheptegei.
Gana je ko jam ke babuti. Ligap cheptegei.
Mami kii nekemwoe we Alfred. Thanks for what you are doing. Kongoi kabisa, iyoe kasit nemie.